Let me guess. You're staring at your phone, fighting the urge to text them. Your heart is pounding, your mind's running wild with questions. What if they've already moved on? What if I never hear from them again? It feels like you're standing at the edge of a cliff, wondering if reaching out will pull you back to safety or push you over the edge. But here's the truth. Chasing them right now is like trying to catch a shadow. The more you reach, the more it slips away. The great philosopher Lao Tzu once said, "By letting go, it all gets done." And I know, that sounds impossible when your thoughts are consumed by them. But what if letting go is actually the key to getting them back? Avoidant exes are wired differently. The more you push, the more they pull away. It's not because they don't care, it's because they fear closeness. And the more you try to bridge the gap, the wider the distance becomes. Instead of trying to close the distance with words, it's time to speak through your actions. Actions that show you're stronger than the anxiety that's been controlling you. Right now, you're craving relief. You think texting them will give you closure or at least a glimpse of their interest. But here's the brutal reality. If you reach out now, when you're feeling desperate and anxious, you're not showing them strength. You're showing them fear. And fear is the exact energy that pushes them away. Albert Einstein once said, "No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it." That's why reaching out from a place of anxiety will only lead to more heartache. The solution lies in changing your approach. It's about stepping back and letting them feel the void of your absence. That's the only thing strong enough to make them rethink everything. The good news? You have more power than you realize. And when you truly understand how to harness it, everything changes. It's not about ignoring them to play games. It's about reclaiming your sense of peace and letting that energy speak louder than any desperate text message ever could. Now, I'm not saying your ex is gone forever, but if you want them to come back, you have to give them the space to realize what they lost. As the great Rumi said, don't be satisfied with stories, how things have gone with others. Unfold your own myth. It's time to start unfolding yours. And it begins by not reacting from a place of pain. What I'm about to share with you in this video is going to change the way you approach this entire situation. You're going to learn how to truly shift the power dynamic in your favor. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what you need to do to make your avoidant ex rethink everything. Don't give in to the urge to text them. Instead, commit to this process. Stick with me until the end, because what I'm about to reveal will empower you to take back control over your own emotions and your own life. If you're ready to reclaim your power, type in the comments, "I am in control." And while you're at it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because this journey is only just beginning. Let's dive in. Stay focused. Before you can effectively shift the dynamic between you and your avoidant ex, you need to understand their mindset. Avoidants are not heartless or incapable of love. In fact, they often feel emotions intensely. The problem is, intimacy triggers their deepest fears. Fear of losing control, fear of rejection, and most of all, fear of being trapped. As psychologist Carl Jung once said, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. And that's exactly what your ex is doing. By pulling away, they are trying to avoid feeling overwhelmed. They are trying to protect themselves from the very vulnerability they crave yet fear. What happens when you reach out to them during this phase of avoidance? They see it as pressure. It feels like an invasion of their emotional space. And instead of pulling them closer, it drives them further away. This is why every time you text them out of desperation, they seem to grow colder, more distant, and sometimes even cruel. But here's the key. It's not your words that push them away. It's the energy behind your actions. Your anxiety, your need for reassurance, your fear of losing them. All of it screams insecurity. And for an avoidant, that insecurity feels suffocating. That's why they retreat, even when deep down they might still care about you. Instead of trying to force connection through texts or calls, the most powerful thing you can do is show them peace through your silence and stability. When you focus on yourself and genuinely detach from the outcome, you're sending a message far more powerful than words. You're demonstrating that you are strong, centered, and no longer dependent on their validation. Like Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You can't control their reactions, but you can control your own. And when you master that, everything starts to shift in your favor. Now that you understand the avoidant mindset, it's time to embrace the most powerful tool you have: silence and detachment. This is not about playing games or trying to manipulate their emotions. It's about genuinely stepping back and giving yourself the emotional distance you need to heal and grow. Ironically, this also happens to be the only approach that can make them rethink their decision. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It's won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. And right now, your ex's feelings and actions are completely beyond your control. The only power you have is over your own responses." Silence isn't about punishing them. It's about breaking the cycle of anxious pursuit. When you constantly reach out, explain, or try to fix things, you are essentially telling them, "You still have power over me." And nothing feels safer to an avoidant than knowing they have control. But when you stop reaching out, stop explaining, and stop begging for their attention, it does something profound. It disrupts the pattern. It forces them to experience the absence of your presence. Suddenly, the attention and validation they took for granted is no longer there. And that void, it's louder than any words you could ever say. Why is this so effective? Because detachment shows strength. It sends a powerful message that you are no longer willing to sacrifice your peace of mind for someone who cannot meet you halfway. And nothing draws an avoidant back faster than the realization that you are genuinely moving forward without them. As Buddha said, you only lose what you cling to. By letting go, you're not losing anything. You're reclaiming your power. And when you do that, something remarkable happens. They begin to question their own decisions. They start to wonder why you're not chasing them like before. And slowly, the fear of losing you becomes stronger than their fear of intimacy. This phase of silence and detachment is where the real shift happens. But the question is, are you willing to stick to it even when your anxiety tells you to reach out? Because if you are, the results will be undeniable. The hardest thing to do when you're missing your avoidant ex is to stop focusing on them and turn your attention inward. But if you want real change, this shift is essential. Instead of waiting by your phone, anxiously checking their social media, or replaying old conversations in your head, you need to reclaim your energy. As Tony Robbins wisely said, "Where focus goes, energy flows. And right now your focus is stuck on them, which means all your energy is being drained by someone who is not actively giving you anything in return. It's time to flip the script. Channel that energy back to yourself, into your own growth, healing, and transformation. Start by setting clear goals, emotionally, mentally, and even physically. Whether it's hitting the gym, taking up a new hobby, or simply re-establishing your own routines, everything you do to improve yourself strengthens your emotional resilience. This isn't about pretending to be okay, it's about actually becoming okay. Why is this so powerful? Because when you focus on yourself, you're showing them, and more importantly yourself, that your happiness is not dependent on their presence. This newfound confidence creates a magnetic aura that speaks louder than any message you could ever send. It's the energy of someone who is fulfilled, who is growing, who is thriving. And here's the real secret. When you truly start prioritizing your own well-being, you become more attractive, not just to them, but to everyone around you. Like James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, said, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." Creating systems of personal growth and happiness will rebuild your life from the ground up. In doing so, you create an environment where their absence no longer defines your happiness. Ironically, this is the exact moment when they begin to feel your emotional distance and wonder why you're no longer desperate for their attention. And when that happens, everything begins to shift. Now that you've started focusing on yourself, something important begins to happen. They start to feel your absence. Remember, avoidants push away when they feel overwhelmed, but they also crave connection. And when you're no longer there providing constant validation, it leaves a noticeable void. Carl Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls." And your ex is no exception. They're avoiding their own emotions, trying to convince themselves they made the right choice by walking away. But when you withdraw your attention, their own thoughts start to surface, thoughts they can no longer escape. The truth is, the absence of your energy is more powerful than any message you could send. Instead of you chasing them, they are now left alone to deal with their own emotions. And this discomfort creates something profound: curiosity and doubt. They begin to question their decision, wondering if they've made a mistake by letting you go. This phase is essential because it forces them to sit with their own feelings rather than projecting their discomfort onto you. And during this time, they will likely experience waves of regret, confusion, and longing. What they thought was freedom now feels like isolation. What they believed was control now feels like emptiness. It's important to understand that this void isn't just about missing you. It's about missing the version of themselves that felt seen, valued, and understood when they were with you. That's what truly haunts them. And the longer you stay away, the more powerful that realization becomes. But here's the key. You can't rush this process. They have to feel the void completely without interference for them to truly understand what they've lost. And only then will they even consider reaching out. Once you've allowed them to feel the void, it's time to focus on rebuilding your identity. This is where true healing begins. It's about rediscovering who you are outside of the relationship and reclaiming your sense of self-worth. As Oprah Winfrey famously said, "You don't become what you want, you become what you believe." And right now, it's crucial to believe that you are whole, complete, and worthy of love and respect. even if they're not around to give it to you. Take this time to dive deep into your own growth. Reflect on the things you might have lost touch with while focusing so much on them. What are your passions? What are your strengths? What do you truly want out of life that has nothing to do with them? When you start answering those questions, you reclaim your personal power. Rebuilding your identity isn't about erasing them from your life. It's about integrating the lessons you've learned from this experience and coming out stronger on the other side. It's about building a life that you love, whether they're part of it or not. Here's a critical truth. When you rebuild yourself from a place of strength, you don't need their validation anymore. And when they sense that you're not seeking their approval, it's like an energetic shift they can't ignore. Suddenly, the balance of power changes, and their curiosity about you only grows. But most importantly, you will find something far more valuable than their attention. You will find your own inner peace. And once you've truly rebuilt your identity, they will have to approach you with genuine effort if they ever want to be part of your life again. Now that you've started rebuilding your identity, something fascinating begins to happen. Without even trying, you're sparking their curiosity. This isn't a trick or manipulation. It's a natural consequence of your growth and detachment. The person they knew, the anxious, needy version of you, is no longer there. This change is powerful because it disrupts their expectations. As Bruce Lee wisely said, absorb what is useful, discard what is not, add what is uniquely your own. You're no longer reacting the way you used to. You're evolving, adapting, and creating a version of yourself that's stronger, wiser, and more resilient. When you genuinely detach from the need for their validation, they start to feel something they haven't felt in a long time: uncertainty. They start wondering why you're not reaching out, why you're not chasing them, why you seem perfectly fine without them. And that curiosity grows. It eats away at their sense of control. Your silence speaks louder than words because it sends a clear message. You are not waiting around for them. You are not seeking their approval. You are not craving their attention. Instead, you're investing your energy in building the best version of yourself. And that energy is magnetic. It's important to remember that curiosity is a powerful motivator. It forces them to confront their own insecurities, their own fears, and their own emotions. They may even try to provoke a reaction from you just to see if you still care. But your newfound strength shows them something they weren't expecting. You've moved beyond the person they once had power over. As you continue to grow, their curiosity will intensify. And when they eventually reach out, it won't be because you chased them. It will be because you inspired them to rethink everything. But that moment of reconnection will only hold true value if you've genuinely detached and built something real within yourself. The final and most important key point is this. When your avoidant ex does reach out, you must decide from a place of strength, not from desperation, not from longing, but from a position of true empowerment. As Viktor Frankl wisely wrote, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. And that's exactly what you've done. You've transformed yourself from the inside out. Now, the power lies in your hands. When they finally text you, or when they make their way back into your life, it's crucial to ask yourself some hard questions. Do you truly want them back? Or are you simply seeking validation? Can they truly meet you where you are now, or are they still stuck in the same patterns? Your journey has been about growth, healing, and reclaiming your power. And now you need to be sure that letting them back into your life aligns with that growth. if you do choose to reconnect, it must be on new terms. Terms that respect your boundaries, honor your worth, and protect your peace. This is not about playing hard to get. It's about knowing your value and standing by it, regardless of their presence or absence. The most beautiful part of this entire process is that you now have options. You are no longer controlled by your anxiety or desperation. You are making decisions from a place of strength, confidence, and clarity. And that, in itself, is a victory. Whether they come back or not, you've already won. You've broken the cycle. You've proven to yourself that you can reclaim your own happiness. And even if they do return, you now understand something powerful. You don't need them to feel whole. But if they do return with genuine effort, vulnerability, and a willingness to grow, then and only then is a true reconnection worth considering. You've just learned the truth about dealing with your avoidant ex. It's not about chasing, convincing, or proving your worth to them. It's about reclaiming your own power and letting your growth speak louder than any words ever could. Because here's the reality. If they truly value you, they will feel your absence and be drawn back by the person you've become. But the most important lesson of all, your happiness, your healing, and your worth do not depend on them. As the legendary Maya Angelou said, you alone are enough. You have nothing to prove to anybody, and now you're proving that to yourself. Whether they come back or not, you've already won. You've transformed your pain into power. You've rebuilt your identity, ignited their curiosity, and reclaimed control over your own life. This journey isn't just about them. It's about you becoming someone you can be proud of, regardless of what they choose to do. If they do come back, you will be ready. Not from a place of desperation or weakness, but from a place of strength, confidence, and self-respect. And if they don't, you'll still be standing tall because you've built yourself up from within. This process isn't easy. It takes courage, discipline, and resilience. But every single day you choose to prioritize yourself is a victory. You're proving that you are stronger than your anxiety, stronger than your fears, and stronger than the hold they once had over you. The power is yours now. And from here on out, you decide how your story unfolds. If you're ready to reclaim your power and break free from the hold they have over you, type in the comments, "I choose me." And while you're at it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another powerful video. This journey of growth and healing is only just beginning, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Stay strong, stay powerful, and remember, you are enough.